What's up, y'all? Just taking care of the music here. All right, what's going on? We got a couple Cobra Kai fans in the house. My movie baby, what's going on now? Good to see you. Nah. Oh man, that's the first thing I thought when they were starting the Sekai Taikai back up. I was like, nah, man, there's no way Daniel's ever gonna agree to that. But guys, holy crap. Cobra Kai season 6 part 3. Wow. All I gotta say is, oh my god, my jaw was on the floor from probably the end of episode 3 all the way to the end of this part. What a dynamic, fantastic part of Cobra Kai this ended up being, you guys. I had a ball with season 6 part 2, guys. Season 6 part 3. Goodness, there's so many parts, y'all. But season 6 part 3 was fantastic, guys. Fantastic. I honestly, I didn't think that it was going to end this great, but the ending is fantastic. I ended up giving it out of 10. I was thinking like a 9.5. I really like this part, y'all. But 1 second. Get a quick refresher on the Celsius, y'all. Listen, Cobra Kai, baby. Cobra Kai never freaking dies. Probably should have advertised the stream. Ain't nobody even in here. But man, it was something, right? Cobra Kai season 6 part 3. I thoroughly enjoyed that ending. One thing, and guys, this is full spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen it yet, turn around, come back to the stream after you've seen it. But we are going full spoilers. Starting off with my favorite moment of the season, Johnny and Miguel returning to Cobra Kai, guys. That was, listen, just seeing our boys back in action was phantasmo. I mean, the fact that we got them back in full form was incredible. I mean, I was ready to end the show with Johnny as a Miyagi-Do. Like, I was at that point, I was like, well, I guess Johnny's changed. Like, I guess that's what it is. But the fact that this man brought the true nature of what Cobra Kai should have always been back into the arena. I love that, guys. I love that not only do we get Miguel taking out Axel in the Cobra Kai gi, but we also get Sensei Lawrence going up against Sensei Wolf for the title. And finally, Johnny Lawrence gets his ultimate redemption in this last moment. And you think you get to the Miguel stuff, and we get past Miguel beating Axel, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so hyped. I'm so excited. This is like peak Cobra Kai. This is it. And then you realize there's one more freaking character who we gotta award here. There's one more. And the show, for the longest time, I feel like the show forgot about Johnny Lawrence. It's not that they necessarily forgot about him. He was obviously still driving the plot. But I was like, his character development was so crucial to the show. It was the heart of this show. And seeing Johnny make his change throughout 6 seasons, gosh, it feels like 8 at this point with the parts. But throughout 6 seasons, seeing Johnny's transformation in character, we get to like a bit of a standstill. And I want to say season 5, where Johnny's getting along with Daniel. I think it might have been like the end of season 4, season 5. It's like Johnny and Daniel make up. They're really good friends. So it's kind of and it's not in the sense that this is a bad thing, because I love Johnny and Daniel being friends, but it kind of made Johnny's character have a bit of a standstill, because it was like, okay, he made all this progress, and okay, he's kind of at that peak, but there's just a little bit more to climb. And we finally got that in part 3 when he got to take on Sensei Wolf. I thought it was brilliant of them to finally give Johnny like another concrete rival, because yeah, you don't want to have Daniel coming back and then Daniel versus Johnny again. And that's something that I commend the showrunners on, like, beautifully. The showrunners really just took the Daniel character and all the characters of Miyagi-Do. And yeah, they just were like, hey man, like, we're going to hang back. The winners, the people who are in Cobra Kai, they deserve to be the winners. I love that, because let's be real. Do we really want to rinse and repeat of Sam versus Tori? Do we really want another Miguel versus Robbie? We've had like 4 or 5 of those matchups, and it was like, So I'm glad that the Cobra Kai team had the foresight to introduce like rivals for these characters in the last season. Robbie's was Quan, Miguel's was Axel, and then Johnny's was Sensei Wolf, and then Tori's was Yara. And I thought that it was a really good idea for them in part 2 to introduce these kind of new, mysterious, more skilled fighters as the rivals of our characters that we've been following the whole show. Very, very well done. And the payoff was awesome. Now, I know I can't be the only one that was like, now hold on, Team Cobra Kai. The people you fighting are actual martial artists. Now, I was looking at Team Cobra Kai with a little bit of a side eye, y'all, because I was like, now hold on. But y'all, man, we gotta talk about the fight choreo in this part. Another great part when it comes to the fight choreo. Very, very fun. And I really enjoyed what they do with the slow-mo. I like the slow-mo use. One thing I didn't really love was the Miyagi part. So let's talk a little bit about that. But let me let my Discord know that this is live. Spoilers. Because it is a ghost town in here to join. Okay. All right. Cool. Let the Discord know. Because woof, it is dead as a doornail in this chat. But yeah, let's talk about it. Because yeah, Sensei Lawrence, or I'm sorry, bringing back Mr. Miyagi in that way was a choice. I would definitely say bringing back Miyagi as like an AI. Like, and it wasn't even, it was like the filter of his voice was AI. It was just kind of weird, man. It looked uncanny. It looked super robotic. Did not like the Mr. Miyagi bringing him back from the dead stuff. I'm like, no, that we didn't have to do that. We didn't have to go there. I think that if we would have just reeled back and just let maybe like somebody's backs, like somebody from the back get like, yeah, just like let like very strange wording there, but essentially a shot of someone's back, just like a person who looks and sounds a lot like Mr. Miyagi play him, but we only see him in the shadows, or like they kind of like make the lighting dark so that you can't really see his face. I think an option like that would have been way, way, way better than making a Mr. Miyagi like CGI reimagining. Just not the way to go, in my opinion. But that might be the only glaring stain on this last part. I just was like, no, I don't like the weird AI Miyagi was not it. That's the only part. I even like the villains exploding. Listen, we'll talk about John Kreese and we'll talk about Terry Silver. I'll say this, between those two characters, I think that John Kreese got definitely more of an ending here. I don't think, hey, good morning. Yeah, lots of really good fights. Especially, man, Miguel versus Axel, Johnny versus Sensei Wolf, which I actually got the Johnny versus Sensei Wolf video uploading now. But I really, really dug both of those battles. Especially, it's hard because I really like the Miguel versus Axel, but what I love about Johnny versus Sensei Wolf is like Johnny finally gets to be the champion. You know, and he was 2 times All Valley before Daniel, but it was like Daniel came and like that loss was just such a huge loss for him, not only there, but in life. And then when we finally saw him beat Sensei Wolf, that's kind of like that comeback moment, that redemption, which is where this show started. So I'm glad it starts with Johnny Miguel, ends with Miguel and Johnny. Love that. Love that we get our last 2 characters in the last 2 battles. And you almost forget, right? You almost forget about Johnny's redemption arc, because you look at Johnny as a character and you're like, okay, he got Cobra Kai back. He's married to Carmen. They have a child together. Their kids get along now, finally. The 2 brothers, they get along. So you look at this and you're like, oh my gosh, Robbie lost, Miguel won. It's over, right? And then you realize when the announcer's like, we got a tiebreaker, you're like, wait, Johnny Lawrence is gonna fight. So good. What up, Mike? I know, Robbie. Let's talk about Robbie real quick, because I'm not gonna front. When he just like lost and he was just like on the stretcher, he's like, I got everything I ever needed from karate. part of me was like, homeboy, look at where you're at right now. My man, your leg is broke though. You lost some movement for a little while. But I did like that. It was kind of like finally that character was able to look at his surroundings and understand that like he has everything he needs from the karate, from the martial arts, from participating in Miyagi-Do, going over to Cobra Kai, all the shenanigans. He found his dad again. Like through all that, he found his father again. He got a girlfriend who cares about him. He has a brother and a sister now. Like it just like those were gifts that Robbie needed because Robbie was scrapping to the streets, stealing shit. Now he has a family. Very beautiful ending for that character. Even though his leg was broke, I still think him and Tori had such a beautiful ending because Tori finally found people who love and care for her. Like these characters, man, they've been through some shit, and I love that their endings made so much sense, even though there was only a little bit more time, which I got to commend the writers. Besides Kreese and Silver, I think all these end arcs went very well. I think Robbie, Tori, Miguel, our big four, Sam, went very well. Let me be real with y'all though. Whenever I saw Sam going off I was like, man, get back to Miguel. I was like, get back to Miguel and them. I'm gonna be real. Binary Brothers, by the way, y'all going to the same college. Listen, man, that right there, they are rife for a spinoff with that. Have Miguel show up. The three of them, they lead a college Cobra Kai series. Like, boom, you got a spinoff. You got spinoff material already. Yeah, poor Robbie. I mean, it's just like he's always number two. But like, I think there's a kind of a come to moment with all these characters where it's like the good thing about karate is the not having to fight part. And I do like that philosophy that Daniel learns, like, oh, I'm doing all this training to not fight. Like he's like, oh, Miyagi trained me in all these ways to not fight. And I'm like, yeah, self-defense, bro. Yeah, man. The Miyagi scene though, can we all just agree? Let's be real, guys. Like they should have just did like a shadowy shot of somebody who looked like and sounded like Mr. Miyagi. The AI just did not look good at all. And I guess the speech itself was the AI part, but like the CG replacement, I was like, nah, man. I was not feeling the Mr. Miyagi. That's the only part though here that I just really, really didn't like. Also, another thing that I was like, man, for real, we didn't get a lot of Kenny. What happened to Kenny's arc in the end? Like Kenny was like, to me, Kenny, I think he came in what, season 4? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. It might be season 5. It's kind of like season 3 all the way up to 6 is kind of like jumbly a little because it was just like that Netflix era. But I think that Kenny was like built up as another Daniel LaRusso. But it was Kenny's character was like, what if Daniel LaRusso went to Cobra Kai from the start? And I loved exploring that. I think he did. And I guess in part 2, him and Anthony made up. So that was the end of his character arc. But I just think there was a little bit more with that character to do. Yeah, I loved when they show Miguel and what he learned from all the years. So what Cobra Kai does so well is it injects those memories, like the clips, the scenes from the Karate Kid movies. Now there's so much Cobra Kai that they could do that with their own show. And I love that they have finally started showing us, oh, hey, remember Cobra Kai season 1 5 years ago? Yeah, that we haven't forgotten. And I love that because in a lot of shows it can get very cheesy, but they've been doing it since the beginning. So we know of this version of using clips and using the past. Like we know how they do this. Them doing it with their own show is just such a brilliant way to close this off. Like, okay, now we're so far past Karate Kid. We're using Cobra Kai clips as our memories. Love it, love it, love it. And then not only like did Miguel remember some of his battles, he was like remembering like the specific moves of like his classmates and stuff like that. And so it really did show us that Miguel was the best fighter because in my opinion, it is not the strongest or the smartest. It is the one who can adapt the most. And Miguel was able to adapt to any circumstance. And so you see him in the woods, you see him versus Hawk and versus Robbie. You see all these different battles and you're like, okay, So Miguel may not even be the strongest on this mat, but he's able to adapt to bigger fighters, to smaller fighters. He's able to adapt to whatever circumstances. And I love that, like with Axel, clearly Axel is the better fighter, but he was able to just telegraph moves. He was able to know, like, based on all of his fighting experience, oh, here's what he's going to do. Oh, here's how I could take advantage of this. And I also love that Axel doesn't decide to like mess up Miguel, his back, because remember, we saw that sort of teaching used earlier in the show with Miguel and Robbie. Season 1, season 2, literally back to back, hit him in the weak spot. And we saw what consequence that created. So I'm glad that Axel reeled back and wasn't the one to take the same route that young Miguel and young Robbie did. I'm not going to say that these new versions of them, these grown versions of them would do that. But remember, in the beginning of the show, like, it was like, okay, there are consequences for cheating. Literally somebody damn near losing their life. So I'm glad that we didn't have to go through that. But Miguel was lighting Axel's ass up. Like, Axel was getting tore up in the first round. And then in the last round, I was like, dude, Miguel's looking confident. He's looking like he knows what he's doing. Johnny gave him that hit. Johnny gave him the OG Cobra Kai headband, and my man went in. I mean, Miguel did not even hold back. He said, listen, guys, bop, 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 bop. Axel, it's done. It's over. So very well done with these characters, man. I love what they did with Miguel, love what they did with Johnny, love what they did with Tori and Robbie. I think making Tori and Robbie the karate, like the martial arts influencers, if you will. I love that ending because I thought I had predicted the ending would be them being like senseis together in other dojos. And I'm like, not quite the same, but almost. I was like really, really close. So they still are going to be together, but they're just touring around doing influencer like shit, showing up in different classes, taking pictures. I'm like, yo, this is the perfect ending for them two. Perfect ending for Daniel as well. Just gets to like teach the kids the Miyagi-Do philosophy, the defense. And that's where we all watching Cobra Kai, we're like, all right, Cobra Kai is the ultimate offense, Miyagi-Do's ultimate defense. If you take both of those styles, you will be the ultimate fighter. And they finally realized it with Johnny saying like, hey, if you're going to learn in my dojo, guess what? You going to get some weeks over here in Miyagi-Do learning the best defense because I suck at that. But I got my guy, Daniel LaRusso, all-valid champ. He's going to teach you, man. He got you. So I love that they banded their dojos together where, yeah, Cobra Kai is the main dojo, but you go to Miyagi-Do, you learn the wiping motions, you learn the defense, you learn the, over here on Johnny's Cobra Kai, you learn to sweep the leg. Over here, you learn the crane kick. So then you come out a balanced fighter. You know what I mean? Like you learn all of these motions from Daniel's side in order to form the best defense. And I love that. I love that they took the two of them and actually made them put their dojos together in a separate way, though. It's like we still have the Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do identities, but they work together because Eagle Fang, bro. Like, remember that era, y'all? That was goofy. Like, I don't want no damn eagle. What the fuck is an Eagle Fang? Like, I was just like, dude, no. Hey, have a great day, QB. Thank you for coming through. Probably about to wrap here in the next 20, but oh man, this show, it is emotional to say goodbye to this show, guys. Like, to say goodbye to Cobra Kai. Like, we've been doing this for 7 years, bro. Maybe about 5 on my end, y'all. I didn't get into it a little later, but it's been at least 5 years for a lot of us. Got through YouTube TV, went to Netflix. Fucking phenomenal show. I mean, for it to still hold up like all these seasons, I would say maybe out of all the seasons, there's like one season that maybe just didn't quite hit the highs of the rest of them. But I look at the show as a whole, and I'm actually going to do a ranking video where I rank every single episode of Cobra Kai. I have been looking at this whole show and I've been like, man, like there's just not one season where I'm like, ooh, that was bad. Like, oof, like bring some more writers in because that was terrible. Nope, they're like every season has hit hard. Every season has been emotional. Every season has taught us lessons and has taught these characters lessons so that they can grow for the future. I'm really, really happy with this show. Like, I thought I would be crying. I thought I would be sad, but like at the same time, like I know all good things have to come to an end. So I learned that this coming to an end is a good thing. At the end of the day, like, hey, we could have got to season 7 and maybe season 7 was like bad, and it's like, we're dragging it out. Geez, like how they bring back Kreese again? He survived the boat. Like, you know what I mean? Like now that we're here, now that we ended, it feels like it was the right time to end. It feels like Cobra Kai coming to an end right here, right now was the perfect time for this show. And it ended beautifully. They did an incredible job of having Johnny admit like have some humility and ask Daniel to be his sensei. Like that's like the ultimate, like when you do that with Johnny's character, Johnny asking Daniel to train him, like there's no other direction you could go. There's nothing you could do that convince me that these guys need to argue yet again. Like what can we do at that point that it's just like, oh, these guys are arguing? You can't convince me that these guys are going to argue now. You can't convince me that they're going to be against one another, because at this point, these two are the best of friends now. So I love it, guys. I think what they did with this show, excellent writing, great character development throughout the seasons. And again, they did an excellent job. I think the ending was beautiful. I think Johnny reinstating the strike first, strike hard, no mercy philosophy in a more positive way is exactly where the show needed to go. And after the first or second season, when Kreese starts coming in, and Johnny realizes like, oh, this is actually really dangerous to be teaching some kids. I love that he still brought that back and said, I'm going to teach you in a way that's good, in a way that you can develop a good moral character. Because yeah, these kids, man, y'all saw Miguel at the All Valley when he was fighting Robbie the first time. Like he was like, I'm tearing this dude up. I'm about to hit his arm. I'm about to sweep the leg. And like, sweep the leg can be used sometimes, but like it was just like not, it was not fighting with fair sportsmanship. And now Johnny has brought the strike first, strike hard, no mercy philosophy into a better light. And I love that. I think that Cobra Kai never dies. And that was the whole, like the show was called Cobra Kai. And when we were getting to like season 5 where Johnny was Miyagi-Do, or season 6 where Johnny was Miyagi-Do, that's cool and all, but like Johnny Lawrence is Cobra Kai. He is Cobra Kai. And I'm glad they had him and Miguel go back, because I was kind of iffy about them being Miyagi-Dos, man. Like I was like, I know that, you know, Miyagi-Do is like the good dojo, but like, can we bring back Johnny's Cobra Kai? And y'all, they answered my prayers. They answered a lot of fans' prayers. They finally gave us Johnny Lawrence back in Cobra Kai, Miguel back in Cobra Kai, in ways that make sense, in ways that are healthy, in ways that will advance their characters in a positive way. Because, man, we know all the drama that these two have been through the entire time, you guys. But y'all, I'm gonna wrap up a little early. I got some more reaction videos to get out. And guys, we've got more coming up on the channel, including Invincible. We got to talk Captain America 4. So come on back tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow afternoon, we will be talking that. So come on back. And then tomorrow evening, we talking some movie news, y'all. So thank you so much for tuning in. I got QB15, Novice Cinephile, and My Movie Baby. Thank you guys so much for joining this morning. And y'all, we'll see you next time.